Hey, what's going on, everybody? Echo Side Fiend here. So I know this video is about a week and a half late, but my usual excuses, just long days at work. Obviously, I was on vacation for a week. Obviously, some other drivers covered for me, but when I got back, I just had a few long days just getting everything back in order. If there's a few things here and there that they missed, or things I told them not to worry about, and I would take care of when I got back and stuff like that. So just had a few long days, but got through the week, and also like a lot of other people, including Beastmaster, Snaps. I think Roxy wasn't feeling too good either. I after Hallowicked also was sick, so that happens actually quite frequently. I don't know if some of the first timers that weren't aware of that, maybe I should have warned them. But yeah, I have actually ended up getting sick after Hallowicked a few times. So but I'm still feeling the effects of it, but it wasn't too bad. I wasn't like bedridden or anything like that. I still got to work, but just made for long, tiring days, and so still kind of getting over it. So this is the first time I've had to sit down and do this, and this video, of course, will be my review of Hallowicked, Fright Fest. I went to Fright Fest in Grand Rapids here. A few other things that I did while I was on my vacation, and that'll be that. So let's go ahead and get started. I also am going to be uploading this to my personal channel and to Carnival Spirit, so you'll be able to see it at either one. So, all right. Well, so first off, on Thursday before my vacation started, I always take the week of Halloween off. So the Thursday before, my buddy Tom from England, who I've mentioned several times, he and his wife Alicia, who is from here. She's from here in Grand Rapids, but she obviously lives in Bristol, England, with him now. So they got into town, and me and my roommate went out to dinner with them. My roommate Jenny, we went out to dinner with them Thursday night. Jenny and Tom have known each other for a while, and Jenny also knows Alicia as well. I think they were friends even before her and Tom started dating. So anyway, so we went out to dinner with them. I got to catch up with them because I hadn't seen. They didn't make it last year for Hallowicked, so I hadn't seen Tom in like two years. Yeah, so. So it was good to catch up with them. We ended up hanging out a little bit later than either of us planned on because both me and Jenny had to work in the morning, but we were able to hang out with them and then finish my last day of work and then started my vacation. So did I do anything Friday? I don't think I really did anything specific Friday. Saturday, I took Miss Hollywood to the Haunt. The Haunt is a haunted attraction here in Grand Rapids. They used to be right over by my work. And apparently they just changed ownership, so they moved not very far from my apartment now. So, and when they moved, the place they moved from, they had been at for a long time, so they were able to keep working on it year round. But it wasn't terribly big. It wouldn't take you very long to walk through it. The place they moved to now, again, new ownership. I don't know if they're planning on staying there, if they'll be bouncing around. That's what they used to do back in the day. They'd just kind of find a building that was available, and that's where they'd be for the season. I don't know if this is going to be their permanent spot or what, but this place was fucking massive. It took a good 20-25 minutes to walk through. It was worth every fucking penny. It was like $30, and then I had a coupon for speed passes. So it's $10 for 2 speed passes. It was like a coupon. You just put it down, and the girl was like, "Yeah, this counts for however many you need." I'm like, "I just need 2, so $10 for 2 speed passes." And so you got to go through a quick line. So we only waited for 10-15 minutes maybe, and then a good close to a half hour walk through that place, and it was awesome. It was very well done. And Ms. Hollywood has acted in those before, so they don't affect her too much. But like I was kind of like walking behind her, kind of ducking behind her. And it's funny because I actually am not terribly easily scared by like horror movies or anything, but those haunted attractions, and I love going through them. But those, I don't know, it's just like with people jumping out at me, it's a little bit different. So it was a lot of fun. They did a great job. So shout out to the Haunt for a job well done this year. It's fucking awesome. So we went to that, and then after that, we just went back to Ivory and her boyfriend Daniel's house, where Aaron, Miss Hollywood, is staying. And we just hung out, played some Nintendo Switch. Daniel has a Nintendo Switch. We played the Mario Kart game, whatever it is, Mario Switch, whatever, I don't know. So that was cool. Hung out, played that for a while, and then I ended up heading home and crashing out. So the next day, I should say, I went and picked up Erin. She helped me pick out some hair dye. It's all fading out now, but I dyed my hair orange and with like black. I should say she did it for me. She dyed it for me. So shout out to Erin, Ms. Hollywood, for doing that for me. and so she bleached it. That's kind of what the color you're seeing now. So I actually really like that. So I actually think as it grows out, I think I'm going to bleach it for a little while. So it looks pretty cool. I've never done that before. Never even dyed my hair before, actually. So she did that for me. We went out to lunch, picked up the stuff, went back to my apartment. She dyed it for me. We did pumpkin carving, watched WWE Evolution. Had a bunch of people over for that. A whole bunch of people came over for pumpkin carving. Tom and Alicia. Jenny was there, obviously. Our friends Alicia and Charlie came over. I think that's it. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I feel kind of like a dick if I am. But so anyway, yeah, we did that, and then that was pretty much that. And then Monday, Twisted came to the intersection here. They did move the Twisted show. It used to be they used to do the main hall, which is pretty good size. Holds like, I always thought it only held like about 700 or 800 people, but apparently it holds like 1,200. But they used to all throughout the years, even when they were on Psychopathic, they always played in there, and they never filled it up. I was actually always kind of wondering why they did it up there. And that's not knocking on Twisted at all. But like I said, even when they were on Psychopathic, they did not fill that place up. So, and then as they left Psychopathic, even before the beef, their audience started kind of dwindling. Last time they played up there, it was I'd say about 250 to 300 people, which is still quite a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, but that room is pretty huge. So they ended up moving it up to the Stash, which personally I think is a better place for it anyway. It's a lot more intimate feel. I would still say there's about 300 people there. That the Stash holds like 400, I think, right around there. So, and it was, worked perfectly up there. I actually hope they continue doing it up there every time they come to the intersection. So, so me and Ivory and Aaron rode to that together. Let's see, Tom, got there later. Let's see, some of, Ivory's other friends joined us. Just went to, we went to Founders, which is right across the street from the intersection. Had a few beers there. Founders, if you're not aware, is a craft brewery, and they're very, very popular. They're nationwide, worldwide, I believe. At least they're in Europe anyway. They've got some distribution over there. They also have a Detroit tap room now as well. Founders Detroit, but the original one is from right here in Grand Rapids. So went there, then went to the intersection. Got there when Axe I think they had just started because they still played for a while, and I wanted to see them. I had seen them once before, but I wanted to see them again. So we got there, I'm like, oh no, they're playing, but they still played for another half hour, so I don't think we missed too much of them. After that was Underground Avengers. Not super into them. They're pretty good, but they're just not, I don't know. I like Boondocks, but was it Class and Buckshot? Both talented, both good, but just, I don't know, I'm just not super into them, so I didn't ever pick up any the Underground Avengers, and probably won't, but regardless, they still put on a good show. It was still enjoyable, and then Twisted went on. Twisted was fucking on point that night. I never have any complaints about Twisted anyway. As I've stated before, I still support them as artists. I'm still a fan. But their show at the intersection that night was fucking on point. It was so fucking awesome. I had a blast, and also, while I'm thinking about it, I want to give a shout out to Dan. He was the very first person who ever recognized me from YouTube at a Twisted show in Lansing at the Loft. And he and his wife, girlfriend, significant other anyway, and his family were out there at the Grand Rapids show. He came up and said hi. I did get a picture with him. I keep meaning to put it on my Facebook, and I have not done that, but I will. So shout out to you, Dan, and your family. Thank you for supporting me on here, and thanks for the recognition. It means a lot. So continuing on, let's see. So next day, ended up, I woke up in the morning. I had all my stuff ready to go to Detroit. I wake up to TJ Beastmaster calling me. He had just landed at the Detroit airport. And I'm like, fuck, I'm still in Grand Rapids. I knew I wouldn't be there right when he landed, but I was planning on being on my way by the time he got out there. I didn't realize he was landing so early. So I got up, grabbed a quick shower. I was on the road in a very short amount of time. I already had all my stuff packed, all ready to go. I was already all loaded in my car. So I've never been to the Detroit airport before. So I put it in the GPS, and it brings up like a million different stops, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm picking this top one, and it'll at least get me to the airport, and then we'll figure it out from there. So it took me about 2 hours-ish to get to the airport, as I'm on my way in, I'm talking to TJ, trying to figure out where he's at, and I'm still following my GPS. So I take I'm like looking at my GPS, talking to him, and the GPS is going this way, and I'm like still going straight. No, I'm sorry, it was wanting me to go straight, and I was in a lane to go to the left, and I'm like, damn it, but I'm like, I don't even know if it's the right spot anyway. So I just start heading up the way that I took the wrong turn, and the wrong turn took me to exactly where TJ was, so it worked out perfectly. I pulled up. He's like, I flew Delta, and I'm like, well, I'm looking at the Delta terminal right now, and I pulled up in front of a hotel, and I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden a valet guy comes out. I'm like, shit, he's gonna tell me to move, and the guy just kind of leans up to my window, and he's like, are you looking for somebody? And I'm like, yeah, my friend says he's like, under like some place where there's a road going over him, and he's at some terminal. And he's like, what do you fly? I'm like, Delta. And he says he's like under like where there's a bridge going over. I'm like, yep. And he goes, tell him to come right upstairs. He's right below us. I'm like, no shit. And I'm like, is it okay if I park here? He's like, you're fine, man. So I'm like, cool. So about 2 minutes later, TJ comes out the door. Worked out perfectly. So we ended up hitting the road. We were a little bit ahead of Ivory and Daniel. The hotel was in Ivory's name. So we just drove to the hotel, which used to be the Stay Inn. Now it got bought out by Baymont, and it's all like not remodeled but refurbished. So it wasn't. I never thought it was a shithole. We stayed there before when it was a Stay Inn, but it was kind of old and run down. And I never had any problem with it, but now it's all like refurbished. It's very nice now. So we got there. We ended up grabbing a bite to eat. There was a place called the Bread Basket. So shout out to the Bread Basket. That place was fucking awesome. Right directly in the parking lot of the hotel. So we went there and ate, and then that's on Jefferson. So we ended up just kind of, Ivory was still like a half hour away. So we're like, fuck it. So we just went out, walked down Jefferson a ways, just seeing some different sites, then headed back up, got our hotel rooms, got everything unpacked, and then fairly soon after that, headed to the Majestic for Fright Fest. So we got there. We missed Axe, unfortunately. I wanted to see them again. We got there, a metal band called Chelsea Grin was playing. Not really my style. I don't know. They were definitely heavy, but just, and I'm a metalhead, but I don't know. They just didn't really do much for me. After them was Motionless in White. I've heard of them before. Didn't really know anything about them. I had never heard any of their stuff. Didn't know anything about like what they look like, what they sound like, anything. They were really fucking good. I am not going to be like going out and buying their whole record collection. Probably I wouldn't travel too terribly far to see them, but if they do come here to Grand Rapids, I will definitely go. I followed them on Spotify, listened to them a little bit. I will say their live performance definitely has a lot more energy than their albums, CDs. But they are good. They were very fucking good. They had The Crow playing on a giant screen behind them. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it really fit, like, with the way the movie was playing, fit with their stage presence, the music they were playing. It was really good. I will point out, too, that a lot of the crowd was there to see them. I actually was afraid that once they got done, that the place was going to drop down to about half capacity. That did not happen. There was a lot of people who were clearly there to see Motionless in White who stayed for Twisted. Maybe they were fans already, or maybe they just wanted to check them out. I think a few people left, but not much. The place was still fucking packed when Twisted went on. And Twisted also put on a great show. They had their Michael Myers and, Jason on stage and, fighting with each other and stuff. So, your typical Fright Fest show, but it was pretty much the same set as Grand Rapids. They did switch it up a little bit, but also on point. Fucking awesome show. And as always, I'm glad that I went. So, headed back to the hotel. Just basically partied and all that for a while. Didn't really do a whole lot. Just, I ended up, crashing out a pretty decent time. I'm a first shifter now, so I get worn out pretty quick. So, I got up the next day. Let's see, what all did we do? We obviously had a bite to eat. We went to the Bread Basket. We ate there every day. We pretty much headed to, Hallowicked, at a decent time because it started, at like 3. And so we got there about 5, I think. So got in, got our CDs. I'll be showing here in a little bit. I'll be showing a whole bunch of stuff that I bought. Got our, the Hallowicked single. Got in there, and it was like, obviously still early, but it was like, looked really empty. I was like, holy shit, I hope they didn't like not sell a lot of tickets this year. But by the time they went on, it was fucking packed, so... walked around, checked everything out, went to, the games room, met up with Crazy McCormick, Went over there. He was going to play some Nintendo with their little Nintendo machine. The little NES Mini was not working, so couldn't do that. Wanted to do the escape room. Me and TJ went over to check that out, and it was already pretty much all filled up. And he was going to try to go back later and see if somebody didn't show up, but he never got around to doing that. So I actually don't know anybody personally that did it. So, but it got, from what I understand online, got good reviews. So I'm hoping that that's something they'll do at DCGCon, and that's assuming that I am able to make it to DCGCon. But if I do, I hope they have it there because I would like to check that out. So yeah, that was popular all night. Obviously just have everybody just hanging out everywhere. Merch booth was set up way better. They had a whole bunch of fucking people running it. Mr. Happy, from Into the Equiside fame was helping run the merch booth. There's like 3 or 4 other people, so the line was moving quick. I was up to the table and got my stuff in like 5 minutes. I went back later too to get some vinyl, and I walked right up to the table and got what I wanted. So as far as music, I did not see Trey Pound. I didn't even hear him go on. I must have been wandering around somewhere. I did want to check him out, but I unfortunately did not see him. I got back, and Cage was performing. Cage was fucking awesome. I actually, TJ had been talking about him, but I was not aware of who he was. But then when he was on stage, I'm like, holy shit, I do know this guy. Because he was affiliated, maybe still is, I'm not 100% sure, but with Def Jux, or Definitive Jux, which is owned by LP, El Producto, who was in Company Flow, whole bunch of other stuff. He was in The Weathermen with the Def Jux and his Cage, and so I recognized him, and I had never owned any of his albums or anything, but I did know who he was. I had heard a lot of his music, heard his performances before, and I did not realize that was him, until a few songs into his set. So I really liked him. I ended up, he's another one I followed on Spotify. I've been listening to him quite a bit. He is fucking awesome. He's definitely somebody I hope comes around here. I will definitely go and support him. So after him was Stitches, who I am a fan of. I like him. I know he's over the top. I know he's ridiculous, but I just can't help but like him. He's got so much energy, and I really feel he loves what he's doing. And so I enjoy him. I enjoy his music. I like how it's so boastful and just so over the top. I love it. He put on a great performance. It was very short. He only played like 15, 20 minutes. But he was so full of energy, man. He jumped in the crowd and was moshing and shit. Dude, he was fucking awesome. He's another one, if he comes around here or nearby, I would definitely go and support him. So let's see, after him was Isham. Isham put on a probably hour-long performance, had a guitar player and a drummer. I've stated before, I'm not super into Isham, but I like him. He's very fun. He's good to see live. I don't really own any of his stuff, but I follow him on Spotify. I listen to him every now and then. But his performances are always fun, and Hallowicked was no different. So obviously after them, after Isham was ICP. They didn't go on till pretty close to 12, so they ran late again, just like last year. Last year they didn't go on until after 1. This year was close to 12, so they weren't rushed as much, but... And as always, I'd love to go through and tell you every song they played, but I've seen ICP so many fucking times it all just blurs together. Obviously, they played your crowd pleasers. They played several Hallowicked tracks, and as always, they fucking killed it, man. Their show was so fucking awesome. They did brought him out on the fucking gurneys with the chains on them and the hoods on and everything. They escape and then start fucking rocking. It was just fucking a blast, man. And I don't think I've ever seen a bad ICP show. So, and this one was no different, just fucking awesome. And Crazy pointed this out when I called into his live stream. They did the rafters in the ceiling of the Russell, where the show was at. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it was at the Russell. A lot of the 2 liters, they get so far up, they'd hit those rafters and get stuck up there, or just hit them and drop straight down. So they had to kind of be careful about how high up they were launching them. But as always, ICP killed it. The fucking crowd was awesome. Didn't see a whole lot of problems as far as anybody getting kicked out. A few people got kicked out, but nothing. I think it was mostly just for being drunk and shit. No fights, nothing like that, as usual. So overall, it's a great show. The after party did get cut short. I did go watch 2 of the matches for JCW. But then Crazy had driven us there, and he was like, we had taken an Uber there, but Crazy had driven himself there, and he was like, I can drive you guys back to your hotel if you want. So I was like, fuck it, let's just get out of here. So I guess Mac Lethal did play, who I like, Mac Lethal. I saw him at Fright Fest last year, but we didn't stick around, so we ended up heading back to the hotel. I just had a beer or two hanging out for a little bit, and then I crashed out. So got up the next day, hung out for a while, drive Beastmaster back to the airport. His flight was at like 3, so we wanted to get him there about like 1. Dropped him off, and I headed back to Grand Rapids. So that was pretty much it. And had the rest of the week off. Didn't really do anything super amazing or anything. Just kind of relaxed, and went and visited my parents one day, and that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, I didn't see Tom again because they had a few things to do. Alicia's mom is going through some health issues, and so they wanted to spend a lot of time with her, which is completely understandable. So, and then we tried, me and Jenny, my roommate, we tried to hook up with them one of the day before they left, and they were just, too busy getting things ready, and then, still wanting to be with Alicia's mom. So, unfortunately, I did not get to see him again before he left. Same with Miss Hollywood. She was here for quite a bit longer, and just, the weekend came, and, and then I was back to work the next week, and so I unfortunately did not get to see her again, but there's always next year, so I look forward to seeing everyone again. So that's pretty much it. Actually, real quick, last night me and Crazy did go to the Ouija Max show in Lansing. That was fun. Not a lot of people there. I was actually pretty surprised, but still a great show. I'd say it was about a quarter full. None of the fucking performers acted like it was not very highly attended. They fucking threw down. So it was fucking awesome. And Ouija Mac, that was actually my first time seeing him. I've always missed him every time he was on other places, at other shows. And so that was the first time I got to see him, and he was fucking awesome. So he's definitely somebody I'll go to again, see again. Big Hoodoo performed. I've seen Big Hoodoo several times. I always like him. He had a live guitarist. That was pretty cool. DJ Clay did a rap set. I've seen him do several DJ sets, but that's the first time I've seen him do a full rap set. He fucking killed it. He played a whole bunch of new music from his solo album that will be coming out, he said, very early in the beginning of next year. So I'm looking forward to that. And I did get some footage. I got a song each of Ouija and Hoodoo. I did not get any of Clay. But took a few pictures as well, but I'm gonna probably put the live footage up on Carnival Spirits, so if you want to check that out. I don't know if I'll get to that today, but pretty soon. So that's pretty much it for everything I did for my Hallowicked vacation, and then this, like I said, the Ouija Max show. So I do want to show what I picked up at Hallowicked and Fright Fest. So let's start with Fright Fest. First and foremost, I did pick up, and I got these at the Grand Rapids Fright Fest as well. I didn't pick up anything at the Detroit one. So I did pick up Axes the Almighty and Necronomicon. These are the only ones they had. Obviously, Axe has a couple other albums, I think, but these are the only ones they had at the show. I do want to try to get their whole collection if it's all out, so I'm definitely digging these guys, man. These guys are fucking awesome, so picked up both of those. Also did pick up the Filth Factory, or Charlie in the Filth Factory. I've been trying to get this for a while, and I did find one copy of it at FYE, but the case was just crushed, demolished. I'm like, I don't know what the CD is going to look like, or if the insert's going to be all fucked up, so I was like, I'll just pick it up at a show sometime. So, I was not planning on picking up any shirts, because I do not need any more shirts, but I saw this, and I was like, I have to fucking have this. This is fucking killer. Obviously, an Axe shirt. Misfits inspired. I'm a huge Misfits fan. Partly my Echo Side Fiend name. Partly I took the Fiend from the Echo Side game, but it's also a kind of a shout out, if you will, to the Misfits Fiend Club, because I'm a hardcore Misfits fan. I've seen them several times, never with Danzig, but I've seen them numerous times. Saw them a couple times with Michael Graves back in the day. So I saw that, and I was like, I'm fucking getting that. Without a doubt, I'm leaving with that shirt. So I picked it up. I couldn't pass that up. So fast forward to Hallowicked. Was it? I don't remember if it was. I think it was on Friday. I'm sorry, not on Friday. On Tuesday, when we were still going to Fright Fest, we hadn't left yet. But this guy came into our room, and he was selling like charms and patches and stickers. And I did pick up. I picked up a few stickers of this. I have one on my car. I don't know if that's like focusing too well, but I took one, I put one on my car already, and then I got this one and a couple other ones, and then I did buy this as well. I don't know if I'm going to end up putting this on anything. It's a patch, iron-on patch, but I don't know if this is something I'll have on display or maybe throw in a frame or what, but I saw these are really cool. It's pretty reasonably priced, like $10 for this and a sticker, and then I ended up buying a couple more stickers for a couple bucks. So those are definitely cool. Obviously, I don't think they're official or anything. It's something he drew or somebody drew, but they're really cool. I love that design, so I decided to go with that. So, all right, so then we get to Fright Fest. Got the CD. I did manage to get one for DC Fago guy as well. I already sent that to him. So I like this as in a digipack rather than just the regular cardboard sleeve or the paper sleeve. So obviously Judgment Day. You got the ICP remake, cover, whatever you want to call it, and then the actual Isham song as well. So I have to admit, I have not listened to this yet. I still have not fucking listened to this. I had it in the CD player for me and Beastmaster to listen to while I was taking him back to the airport. And I forgot to play it, and then I'm like, well, after I was leaving, I'm like, let me get myself to the expressway, and then I'll listen to it when I get out on the highway. Totally forgot. So I got home, and I'm like, fuck. Probably could just listen to it when I got in the parking lot of my apartment complex, but I didn't. So I have not listened to it yet. I definitely have to do that. So did pick up 2 shirts. Picked up the Michael Myers Hatchet Man shirt, and I guess this is by... I forget the artist. Somebody said who it is. It's the guy who's been drawing all like the Ninja Turtle looking ones, but they're ICP and all that. Forget what his artist name is, but that's fucking awesome. But the original Halloween is absolutely one of my favorite slasher flicks of all time. So I saw that and I was like, I gotta have that. So, and then I also picked up the Detroit official Hallowicked shirt. This is the one that you would only be able to get at the Detroit stop. So, and on the back, it's got the, Detroit at the Russell, October 31st. So I always pick up the Detroit official. There was one year I didn't because I didn't really care for it. But so then a little bit later, I did see a guy walking around with vinyl. So I went back and picked these up. They were $20 each. They did have this, obviously Ringmaster, and also you see I got Hell's Pit. And they did also have Bang Pow Boom, but I just went with... I do plan on picking that up, but I decided to just go with these 2 for now. It was nice you were able to put your merch in the coat check. So I was able to do that, and then later crazy about a shirt. The dude running the coat check was super cool. I was like, can we throw that in there too? He's like, yeah, give it here. So one thing with Ringmaster, and I'm actually curious if other people have the Ringmaster vinyl. On Murder Go Round, mine skips in 2 different spots, but I'm looking at the record and there's nothing, no scratches, nothing. So here in Grand Rapids, we actually have a record store locally owned called not Vinyl Solution. That used to be a record store. They're gone now. Vertigo. And the owner is very Juggalo friendly, carries a lot of ICP stuff. And I had been there a few days earlier and he had Ringmaster. So I was like, it was like $20. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to buy another one. So I went down there and I bought one there and I brought that one home, and that one skips in exactly the same spot. So I'm guessing it's the pressing. So I do have 2 copies of Ringmaster now, which is totally fine. I don't mind having an extra one. But yeah, it must be the actual pressing because they both do it in exactly the same spot, and there's no, I watched the needle doesn't jump at all. So I'm curious if others, anybody else, if you're watching this, if you have Ringmaster vinyl, if yours does that as well. So, but I was thinking about trying to contact Psychopathic and see if I can return it, or whatever, or, exchange it. I couldn't find any email for, Psychopathic merch or anything. I'm like, fuck it. I like supporting Vertigo and I like supporting ICP, so I was like, I'll just go buy another copy. So, but this is the one, since I found out that one skips too, this one here is the one that I bought at Hallowicked. So, just got the other one stashed in my closet. So that's pretty much it. And it's about a half hour here, so let's wrap this up. So, as always, Hallowicked was a fucking blast. I hope everybody who made it this year, like Roxy, Snaps, TJ, CPN, a whole bunch of other people I met, Warlockside, Church, all these dudes that I met, hung out with. I hope everybody can make it again next year because, man, it's a fucking blast. This is my 14th consecutive Hallowicked. I've been going every year since 2004, and as I stated before, I also went to 98 and 99. This year was my 17th. So, as always, great trip, great shows. Had a fucking blast. and I can't wait to do it again next year. I also did just procure tickets to Big Ball is Christmas on Friday. I picked those up, so me and my friend Ivory will be attending that. So if you are going to that, I do know a few people already that are going. I can't wait to see everybody there, and I can't fucking wait for that. That's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I am so happy that I was able to get tickets. I got them right at noon, and I'm looking forward to that. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting Carnival Spirits. Make sure you're subscribed to Carnival Spirits. Again, I will be uploading this on there and my personal channel as well. So, thank you for all the support, all the views, and I hope anybody watching can make it to Hallowicked next year, because if you've never been, you definitely need to go. So, as always, this is Echoside Fiend. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, and I will catch you in the next one.